Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my empties bin. I have an overflowing bin of products here today. A lot of hair products, a lot of body products, probably some skincare in here and some makeup kind of down filtered at the bottom. These are all the products that I've used up, but then I've also have a couple things that just did not work out very well for me. They're actually still full, but I dislike them so much so I don't think I can even give them to anyone. So we're gonna go into it all today. I hope you guys are excited. Before we get into it, special welcome if you are new here. Happy to have you here. I hope you enjoy this video today. Hopefully you'll consider subscribing before you leave. Also hit that notification bell so you can know each time I upload a new video. Whew. With that out of the way, let's get right to it. Let's start with some hair products. I have just a couple of things. Let's start with this one right here. So this is from Joico. This is the K-Pack Color Therapy Luster Lock Instant Shine and Repair Treatment. Basically a hair mask. I loved this stuff. I've had it for like a year now. It took me about a year to use this whole thing up. I do have a lot of hair. Ooh, I could probably scrape one more use out of that. What's this doing in my garbage? I really like this as a hair mask. Very hydrating. If you have extremely dry hair, which I do, my hair is bone dry. I often describe it as like hay. I mean, it is so dry. Sometimes it actually looks kind of hay-like. It's just very, very dry. I need a lot of hydration. This is extremely hydrating. I've casually been looking for this. I've been out of it for a while now. It's been a couple months since I ran out of this and I have been looking for it casually. I haven't dug too deep though. I really need to go to the internet to try to find this again because the place I originally got it at didn't have it in stock anymore. I hope they still make it because this is a fantastic hair mask. I kind of have a system when it comes to like conditioning my hair. So I like to rotate through conditioners. I have some that are a little bit cheaper. I know I've mentioned one to you guys before, my charcoal hair mask. I'm gonna link that one down below for you guys in case you didn't hear my rave about it in my last empties video, or I think I've talked about it in some favorites videos as well. I get it on Amazon. It's pretty cheap. It's not very thick though. It's not like a thick mask. So I'll use that one or two times a week. And then I like to deep condition another 1 or 2 times a week with either this, or I also have some Olaplex products that I'll kind of rotate in there. So I like to do that to get some more life out of my more expensive conditioners. But I feel like giving your hair a break is helpful. I feel like my hair kind of grows accustomed if I use the same thing over and over again. I don't know if there's any real science behind this. I just kind of feel like that seems to work for me and save me a little bit of money. So I am going to keep looking for this. I actually need to go online today before I officially toss this and see if I can find it because I would definitely repurchase this again. Couple more hair products. So I know I've talked about this before. I have 4 bottles of my mousse. This is kind of my go-to mousse. I have, let's see, are they all? See, so 3 of these are the original sculpting foam mousse. This is supposed to be a dupe for the Paul Mitchell mousse. I really love this stuff. I actually like it a little bit better than the actual original Paul Mitchell mousse, which by the way, I'm also finding it difficult to find. I think they are discontinuing this. The last time I checked or tried to buy this mousse when it ran out, they didn't have the original on Sally Beauty Supply's website anymore, and I haven't been able to find it in store either. I have been able to find the extra body one. I like the body that this one gives my hair, but it dries my hair out a little bit. So I prefer the original, if they still had it, to the extra body. I'm worried that they're also going to be discontinuing this one soon though, because I've had a harder time getting a hold of this one as well. It's gone out of stock a few times and they seem to take a really long time to get it back in stock. So I'm kind of on a mission, so to speak, to find a good mousse for my hair that might be able to replace this. I have not been successful quite yet. I'm actually trying out a Kenra dupe mousse right now that I'm not loving either. It's just so hard for me to find the perfect mousse. I have tried so many and so many of them just aren't quite there. Speaking of which, I've got a couple more mousses to share with you guys that didn't maybe work out quite so well for me. This one right here is the Beyond the Zone Noodle Head Mousse. They actually make a spray, or no, it's not a spray. It's like a gel that I really like. Didn't love the mousse so much. It wasn't the worst mousse that I've ever tried. If I had to use a different mousse, this might be one that I would reach for. I think I like this one better than the Kenra dupe one that I currently have. That one just doesn't do anything for my hair. Like it feels like nothing on my hair. It doesn't control frizz at all. It doesn't help out with my curls. This one I felt like controlled my frizz a little bit better, but it was a little bit stringy. Not terrible, but not up to the Paul Mitchell bar that I have set for myself. Speaking of one that is terrible, unfortunately, is this one right here. I got this on Amazon. This is from the brand Cantu. It's their Shea Butter Wave Whip Curling Mousse. Now, along with this product, I got a curling cream that I am loving. In fact, I've worn it a couple times in my hair. It gives my hair really good curl definition. Some of you guys have even commented on my curls on days when I've worn that cream. This is supposed to kind of go along with that cream. It did nothing for my hair at all. In fact, I feel like this made my hair more frizzy. Not at all enough hold in this. Not a good mousse for me, unfortunately. I don't even know what to do with this. I mean, I just don't. I thought about giving it to my son, see if maybe he could get some use out of it, but I've given him a couple of my mousse trade-offs and he didn't like any of them. In fact, he's like, stop giving me all your crappy mousse trade-offs. If they're not working for you, they're probably not gonna work for me. Fortunately, this was pretty cheap. I think it was like around $5 or $6 on Amazon, but unfortunately, I'll probably just toss it now. I think that's all the hair products. Let's go through just a couple of skincare items. I've got 2 empty sunscreens right here. I'm not that particular with my sunscreen for my face. All I look for is something from the drugstore that has zinc, that's like zinc based. Both of these worked really good for me. I've got this one from Coppertone, this one from Neutrogena. I'm currently using another Coppertone one. This is their Coppertone Sport 100% naturally sourced zinc oxide. Seems to work just as well. I've just found that the zinc oxide based sunscreens, I think I've said this before, but in case you're new here, as much as I don't like the white cast that they initially give my face, they're not nearly as greasy as the chemical-y sunscreens. And if you give them a good 5 or 10 minutes to set into your skin, that white cast will go away. So I like the way they work under makeup a lot better for my face. Also have an empty CeraVe Daily Moisturizer. This is my go-to moisturizer. I was using Cetaphil for a while and I kind of transferred over to this one. I think it's a little bit less, I'm just talking the original Cetaphil, like green lid body and face moisturizer. That one can be a little bit greasy on my skin. This one's a little bit more kind of watery feeling, but it hydrates my skin really well and hydrates it all day long. I love this stuff. It works so well under makeup. I also have the Equate Beauty dupe for this moisturizer. Honestly, I don't notice that much of a difference. I think the CeraVe one might be a little bit less watery, as in like truly seems like they watered it down a little bit. That's what I found with some of the Equate products, not all of them, but sometimes I feel like their stuff just feels like they added a little bit of water to make you feel like you're getting a little more bang for your buck. If you're a bit of a penny pincher and you count every cent, there is a pretty good price difference in these, and I think the difference in like quality, how they feel on my skin is not that significant. So I'd probably, if you're on a budget, go with this one. Another skincare item I have, the Ordinary 100% plant-derived squalane oil. This has kind of become my go-to daytime oils. I'm pretty basic with my skincare. After I wash my face, I'll put my day serum on if I'm using like a spot treatment, and then I'll put my moisturizer on, my CeraVe on, and then right away I'll put just 2 drops of this squalane oil on top. I feel like it locks in the moisture from my moisturizer and keeps my skin just really, really soft and moisturized. It doesn't start to like dry out throughout the day. I love using a tiny bit of oil on my skin. I try to keep it like out of like the center of my forehead and the sides of my nose and really concentrate it on this like outside area of my face where I'm extra dry, but it really helps me. As someone that does have very dry skin, I don't like my skin to be dry when I put foundation on because I feel like it makes your skin look really bad. And this really helps keep my skin nice and soft and moisturized and ready for foundation. Speaking of serums and treatments, I've got an empty of my Muesli, the spot cream. I'm almost done with another one of these, and then I have one more. So I use this for a couple months and then I'll stop using it because I feel like it kind of stops working for me, and sometimes it can start to like bleach the area around the spots you're trying to treat. So if you're not aware, I guess I should probably explain this first. This is a hydroquinone treatment. It has 12% hydroquinone in it. I get this from the brand Muesli, which is like an online dermatologist. It's a little bit pricey. It's about $60 a bottle, but a bottle will last me a good 5 or 6 months. And I do think this helps if I can keep my skin out of the sun, which is difficult to do. I'm hoping it'll get a little bit easier as we're moving into winter. I especially noticed the first time I started using this, I was using it to lighten up. I have a sunspot right here on my cheek that we don't get along very well. I was hoping this would completely make it go away. I feel like when I first started using it, it lightened it a little bit, but it keeps coming back. Every summer it comes back. So I'll probably continue to use this on and off. I just apply it very strategically on the actual like sunspots or patches of hyperpigmentation that I have. I'm kind of feeling like I might try something else. If you guys have anything that you feel like works really well for hyperpigmentation, thought about trying the one from Murad, let me know if you guys have any recommendations for sunspots or hyperpigmentation, because I'm open to trying something else for a while. I've got an empty of my Garnier Micellar Cleansing Water. I use this stuff all the time. It's always here at my desk. I currently have a new one open. If I am doing swatching, I'll usually just use this, and I have cotton pads that I always leave here by me. So this is kind of what I use as like my makeup wipe remover to remove swatches. That's really all I use this for nowadays. I used to use it to remove makeup at night, but most of the time I'll either use, I have like a Melt from Pharmacy if I need for like a waterproof mascara, or most of the time I just use my cleanser to remove all my makeup, which is just a bar of Cetaphil soap. But this is a staple for me here at my makeup desk when I'm filming videos. All right, let's go through some self-tanners. So let's start with this one right here. This is a pretty pricey one from Saint-Tropez. I got mine at Marshall's for, it was still like 14 bucks, so still not cheap. This is their classic self tanner. I know this is like a go-to for so many people. I didn't love it that much. This is a mist one. I think it's like a spray mist. This one's been gone for a while now, but this was a little bit green on me. I'm very picky with my self-tanning shade. Some of the ones that are a little more olivey in tone seem to turn really green on me and look a little bit odd, but then there's also some that turn a little bit too orange, so it's really hard to find like the perfect self-tanner shade. This one was just a little bit too green toned for my skin tone. I loved how dark it made my skin. I thought it went on pretty evenly and lasted a pretty good amount of time, and also didn't wear off quite as patchy as some other ones, but I just wasn't wild about the color. This one right here is the Mine Tan Body Skin Antioxidant Rich Coconut Water, Intensely Hydrating, Infused with Coconut, Avocado, and Jojoba Oil 1 Hour Express Self-Tan Foam. Wow. So I went through 2 bottles of this. I got this one on Amazon. It was a little bit pricey. I think 2 bottles was like 30 bucks if I remember right, which that's kind of a pricey self-tanner. Way more pricey than I typically like to go. I really liked the color of this one. It was a little bit warmer than the Saint-Tropez, but this was probably one of the worst culprits as far as like rubbing off on my clothes and my sheets and staining things. This thing was a beast. It did great damage to my white sheets. So I probably won't buy this one again. I did talk about in my last favorites video a self-tanner that I'm really loving right now. Go watch that video if you're curious to see that one, because I really love that one. I just bought 2 more bottles of that one, and it was a little bit cheaper. It was like $9 a bottle, which is a pretty good price for a self-tanner. I also have this one right here from the brand Be Tan. The one I'm loving right now is also from this brand, but it's their tanning water. This one is a dark tanning foam. It also turned a little bit green on me, and I don't know. It's supposed to be insanely dark. I don't know that it was insanely dark. Like, it was moderately dark. Just not wild about the ones that are too olivey, which is funny because I do have naturally more olivey skin. I kind of have like a green undertone when I get a bit of a tan, or if you look at like the veins in my arms. So you'd think I'd like that, but I feel like it just looks, maybe because I'm naturally a little bit green, it looks more green on me. I don't know. Not too wild about this one. If you like your self-tanners a little bit more on that green kind of olivey side, maybe you would like this one. It is a little bit more affordable. I think this one is also around $10 a bottle. The next one that I might consider buying again comes from this brand. This is Tanologist, their Express Tan Self-Tan Water. This one's in the medium shade. I currently have one open in the dark shade. That one I like a little bit better. This one's a very, very light color. So if you have very fair skin, you're looking for just like a touch of a tan, maybe this one will work for you. It is a little bit warmer. I don't think it's orange, but it's not like a greeny olivey tan either. I prefer the dark one. I think it gives you a little bit better tan. It lasts a little bit better, but I love the tanning waters because they're so much cleaner to work with. They don't stain your clothes as much. They don't stain your sheets. The only tricky thing about them, and I've said this a couple of times, but when you apply them, you can't see the product. So you have to know exactly where you're putting it. Like, you have to get very practiced at like putting it on, making sure you wash your hands in any of the areas that might get splotches of self-tan on them. Like this area right here, I try to keep it away from there. I try to make sure to like wipe off the underside of my arms, because sometimes you'll get like little like swipes where maybe you didn't like rub things in very well. I try to just keep this on like the surface of my skin when I apply it. And that goes with any of the tanning waters. You have to be very careful with how you apply them. Otherwise, you're gonna get things a little bit streaky once the tan starts to settle in that initially you can't see. It can get a little bit crazy. I've had some incidents where I've had like a streak of brown on the underside of my arm. That's a little embarrassing. But I did really like this one. Comes in a spray. If you like something a little bit darker, if you have more of like a medium skin tone, go with the dark. If you are more fair and you don't want something so intense, the medium was pretty nice. Like, it was pretty subtle. Okay, now let's get to some makeup products. I have the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear. I feel like I have one of these in every Empties video that I do. I'm already almost halfway done with my next bottle. So easily my most repurchased foundation. Definitely a go-to for me. I love this stuff. I use the shade 425 Linen. I also have an Empties Sky High mascara from Maybelline. One of my favorite mascaras, really nice and water resistant. This is just the original version, by the way, not the waterproof. It's great, makes my lashes nice and long. It's not overly like volumizing, but it's very good at separating and lengthening your lashes. I also have an empty Thrive Cosmetics mascara, another one of my go-tos. I haven't bought a backup of this yet, and I've been out of it for about 5 months now. I might wait till the spring. This is kind of my spring go-to mascara, but I find that it does dry out kind of fast. Like, I can't get more than 5 or 6 months out of a tube of this before it starts to get a little bit clumpy. Because the formula of this mascara, it's a tubing mascara. It's not like you can add a little bit of like setting spray or something to even just extend it a couple more months when it starts to dry out. Once it goes bad, it's truly bad and you have to kind of throw it away. So that is the one downside to this mascara. The thing I love the very most about it, other than that it makes my lashes look really nice and it's nice to remove, is how water resistant it is to my watery eyes. But I only have an issue with that in the spring when I'm watching baseball. That's really the only time that I need a mascara that's going to be budge proof. And this is one of the ones I love, especially for situations like that. A couple more things makeup-ish related. I have an eyelash serum. This is my second tube of this. I have a third tube of this that I'm using right now. This is I got this on Amazon from the brand Vibe Beauty. It's their eyelash serum. I really like this stuff. I notice when I stop using it for a couple of months and then I go back to using it, I do think it makes a difference. I have trouble with the outer part of my lashes. Like my lashes get really long here in the center and then they kind of get a little bit like broken and sparse here on the outer corner. And when I use this, it really helps to like lengthen out and like fill out those outer corners of my natural lashes so they look a little bit more even. It's not crazy expensive. I think you can get this for around $25 to $30. I use it just once a day and I'll probably use it like 3 weeks on, a couple weeks off. Kind of like the hair products, I get accustomed to using it. Maybe that's all in my mind. You might see a theme here. I kind of play these mind games with myself where, is it still working? Let me stop using it for a while, then start using it again, and then I notice the difference. Or maybe I'm just cheap. Last thing, fishing out from the bottom, is an empty of my go-to nail polish top coat. This is from Olive & June. I probably have about 7 bottles of these. They used to send me nail polishes. I haven't gotten any for a while though. I have bought some on my own, but there was a good stretch of time there that they were sending me their new releases, and every time they would send me one, they'd give me a bottle of their clear top coat, and this stuff is amazing. It makes your nails so incredibly shiny. It makes them look like gel nails, which I really, really love. Anytime I'm doing my nails, I'll use this top coat, whether I'm using one of their nail polishes or some of like my LA Colors nail polishes, Smoked Kale polishes. I always use this top coat. It is a go-to for me. I probably have like 7 open bottles of this that are just about halfway gone. Once they get down to the bottom and they're harder to get enough on your brush, because this is the tricky thing with this top coat. It's very, very thick. So if you don't get enough of the top coat on your brush, like if your brush is only half dipped, it gets like streaky on your nails. You've got to have enough to cover the whole nail in one like thick coating of it. Otherwise it gets kind of like streaky looking and doesn't look quite as glassy on top of your nails. So I like to make sure the bottles are pretty full, which is why I have so many bottles that are like half empty. One of these days maybe I'll sit down and like open up all the tubes and like combine them, and that sounds like a lot of trouble. No, I'm not gonna do that. Maybe I just need to go online and order a couple backups. I just can't bring myself to throw something away when I know there's like a good 1/4 of the product left inside of it. Does anyone else have this problem? I definitely do. So I think that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was helpful for you, gave you a peek into the type of products that I'm using on a regular basis. A lot of it non-makeup related. It's kind of maybe surprising as someone that has a makeup channel that I don't have a ton of empty makeup products, but I think that is why. I'm constantly trying out new things. I'm constantly rotating through my makeup collection, all the products, foundation, concealer, powders, bronzers, but the handful of staples that I actually use up, there are a couple of those in here, and hopefully that gave you like a little peek into what I actually repurchase regularly. That was probably self-explanatory. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you guys are doing well. Let me give you one last reminder. If you have not yet subscribed, please do that before you leave, and I will see all of you in my next video. Bye. Not terrible. Jeez. $7, this one's like 11, so I mean that's like what? I should know that off the top of my head. $4. So sad.